Okay. Are we live? Well, let's see, because we just had a weird technical issue where OBS crashed. And honestly, my PC, I don't know what happened, but it doesn't seem to be running smooth. But let's check. We got one, we got two, we got all three. So I'm going to ask a question I already know the answer to, but still not 100% sure. I think I know the answer. That's R. We live. I said, are we live? It looks like we are. Vigilante Wednesday here on the 182nd episode of VW Casual. Hey, Real Wade. Instead of Fake Wade. I'm glad Fake Wade's not here. Fake Wade doesn't exist. But Real Wade Nation Gaming. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. Had a good weekend. It's the first of the month. The first of the third month. This fucking year is a sixth done. Yeah, World War III may or may not started. Speaking of third. Lots of bombs over Baghdad, literally bombs over the Middle East. Not sure if Baghdad or they're over Baghdad. I'm not a geography major, but I can't remember what was it. Did Israel strike Iran first, and then Iran struck Israel and UAE and every other place? Iran pulling that trailer they seen when the entire block turns on them. Yeah, it looks like they start shooting out missiles. So, I know there was a kind of a crisis last year. It looks like we thought the crisis was averted. It doesn't look like it has been. So we'll see what happens with that. Would not want to be a young draft age individual. Not saying they'll ever use the draft, but you just never know. Just never know. And I haven't been, I've seen it, obviously, what happened in the Middle East. I've not been keeping up tabs. Surprise. It's like thinking you could apologize if the SWAT team shows up. Hey, Fizz. So, yeah, we'll see. It's been like a back and forth thing, like I said. So we'll see how this resolves it. We'll just see how it resolves. As it was said in a meme, you're too young. Was it too young to be born to invade the Middle East, but born just in time to invade the Middle East? So we'll see. Mental took a dive. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get better, man. You gotta protect your mental, man. Don't let life get to you. Some of the stuff you say, a lot of pessimistic stuff, which I get it, It's a pessimistic time. But, I don't want you to get too down. You're a good dude. One of the artists you're associated with, your auto account turns out to be in service. Oh, man. He says, I hope he comes back in one piece. Yeah, same. Have a project you're supposed to work on with. F-15 shot down by friendly fire. I didn't hear about that. Like I said, I haven't heard about a lot of details. Yeah, I hope he does too, Fizz. Sheesh. I wouldn't want to be in the service for sure. I wouldn't want to be service age. A little bit. I saw a lot of hype over the tight ends and one of these quarterbacks as far as their 40 time. My theory about the combine, I think a lot of the numbers were juiced. Sonny Styles had a great combine, and all these other players had great combine. I think the numbers were juiced. I think some of the 40 numbers, you shave a few seconds off. Texans get Mike Washington. I think a lot of these players, and I didn't follow to the detail. I just kind of, saw some of the cursory stuff. Sometimes I've been putting it on as background noise while I'm working, whatever. That's what it looks like to me, Fizz. That Trump is fighting Israel's war. Was it Matt? Somebody had said there was this thing with Israel wanting to have power over all these Middle Eastern countries. So this may be part of that. I don't know. Hey, working Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Oof. 10 a.m. It's tough business for me getting up. I can. What's going on? You trying to stream? I am available then, but I like to sleep in on my days off. That's Tuesdays and Mondays are my days off, so I like to sleep in. But we'll see. All the politicians took who on all stock will be happy. Even the Dems who won't say, yeah, the Dems and Republicans are going to both be happy. I don't know what it will take to get people to break that spell, but the politicians are going to make a ton of money. They made a ton of money in the quote unquote Iraq war and Afghanistan situation. You are doing the stream, okay? I'll say tentatively yes, but if I oversleep, please forgive me. You say I'm good, I feel bad. I just hate getting up that early. I mean, sometimes I do when I have to, and I could, but I was really, I actually wasn't gonna say anything until we close. But it looks like I may have a house, and the past fucking few months has been looking for a house. It's had something to do with looking for a house, but now that I'm just kind of waiting to close, and we should close in a few weeks, I don't have anything to do, and I kind of wanted to just like not do anything. But if it's later in the day, I can do it. Whether it's afternoon or evening, I could do it. Don't do it, get sleep. Okay. If you sleep in, yeah. If it was later in the day, or if it is, you say, hey, around 2, I can get up by 2. Taking down the last of China's network. They can shut the oil flow of China if they act up with Iran neutralized. I see. You guys probably know more about the geopolitical implications than I'm not going to lie. So this is a casual. I am going to try a game. I want to get back to playing games, and I found the indie game. I just got the demo. I probably will end up buying it, especially if the demo goes well. But I want to get back to games, so just letting you know, at some point we'll try to play a little game. I didn't put it in the title because it's a demo. It might be 20 minutes, right? And I didn't do a ton of research on it, but it's a free demo, and if it's cool, we'll play more of the game. And it's just a little cheap indie game. You gotta get to indie games. One, I want to make an indie game, and two, when it comes to entertainment, I don't think we're going to get anything from the mainstream, and so indie games is one of the few places where you have massive groundwell of support for independent creatives making something. You don't really you kind of have it in music, but you still need to do a lot of stuff to a certain extent to even get on the wave, which I guess you do with the games. But Arden Falls has a free demo. Arden Falls, I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that. Since 4 years in the making. Would have played Resident Evil 9 Requiem on Friday. GameStop pushed pre-order to this week. Still buy physical, which I understand. I would suggest you buy physical, Glenzer. I suggest everybody buy physical if you can. I know it's not always possible, but so shout out to that. I guess that would be the most popular game. I haven't even bought it. I'm trying to not spend. Like I said, I got this house situation. I've been spending enough fucking money on other shit and bills and shit. I really would like to fucking not spend money, but I don't know. If it's cheap, but I don't know. Sorry. Professional streaming. Professional. Once we do get the streaming, or once I do get the house situation, hopefully, I'm going to slow move. So hopefully by May, we have everything situated, and we'll change the presentation of these streams. Hopefully have a project. We'll get this hip hop project released by then. I'm going to plan to do a couple videos to the Synthwave project that I never did. And then I want to, take streaming a little bit more serious, which I do, but you know what I mean? Obviously, we're trying to stream Sundays. Hopefully, I can get another day to get consistent, so it's like 2 days. Physical Resident Evil sold out everywhere, no joke. So physical still selling. That's a good thing. I think as more and more people deal with streaming services, that makes them realize, oh man, there's an importance of physical. Because, if you just want to watch a movie and you don't have it and your streaming service doesn't have it, or they want to charge you $10 to rent it, then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, because everything's not always available for free. So you can have 5 streaming services, and none of them have whatever TV show or movie on it, unless you pay an extra $10 or $5 or whatever it is to rent. So you're like, well, fuck, I gotta pay $5 every time I want to watch something. I don't know about that. And then that's how you hit the high seas. That's how you hit the high seas. So yeah, Resident Evil probably would have been a more logical game. I didn't even think. But I don't know. We'll see. Another game. I've been I keep hearing things about Clear Obscure, and I bought that game, only played it the one time online, haven't played it since. Or one time on stream. I want to play more of that game. Maybe not on stream, but off stream. DVDs were cheaper in the long run. I have a decent physical media collection, nowhere on 24/7. 24/7. I'm not sure. First off, if you are listening, sometimes you're listening, please hit me up so I can finish this fucking album. But he has an extensive physical media, DVD, comic, music. His collection is insane. He can have a store. He has such a crazy collection. But his trick is going to pawn shops and thrift stores, and I haven't really gone pawn shopping. Like I said, I'm trying to save every fucking dime on this house shit, and then I got shit I need to get. But man, I'm really I do want to get back into getting some more physical media, and I want to get back into CDs. That's the thing. Not only to own some classic albums, own some modern stuff. Look what happened with vinyl. Yeah, good point. DVDs and Blu-rays will go up in value. Some of them already have. There are certain DVDs that are out of print or Blu-rays that are out of print, and now they want $100, $200 for some movie you may not have heard of, but has a niche following and is out of print. So that's already starting to happen. No case, no disc, no truck. Delivering it to brick and mortar store would equal cheaper, but physical is $70 and the digital is $70. See, yeah, they're so greedy. The digital should be cheaper. I don't know why digital is not cheaper than physical. That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. Sling Blade Blu-ray's $100+. See, I didn't know that. And you would think that's a pretty popular film. Then look at the Criterion Collection. That's another that house. I don't know exactly what the Criterion Collection, what you would call it, aggregator, whatever you want to call them. People buy from that. They'll buy that version of a DVD or movie. You know what I'm saying? So there's still physical media. There's still a lot of people who want physical media. Sling Blade. Oh man, it's a movie from the '90s with Billy Bob Thornton. One of his first big movies back in the '90s, where he kind of plays a. I just remember. I don't know if I even saw that movie, but I just remember Taters or whatever. He was kind of like a special needs dude. But I don't know the whole story. I'm not really an expert, but it was a movie in the '90s that was pretty popular and one of Billy Bob's breakout roles back then. Before he had that weird relationship with Angelina Jolie. Anybody remember that shit? That was weird as fuck. In the early 2000s, he was fucking Angelina Jolie, and he used to do all this weird culty shit. So that's before we knew it was widely spread how demonic these celebrities were. But that was some weird shit back then. Weird shit. But yeah, that's crazy. But again, that's not surprising. I think physical media, and not to change. I know we would start talking about the whole Middle East thing. If you want to go back to that, we can. But yeah, that's got to give Billy Bob props for being with Angelina when she was tuned very high. See, you just brought it up. Yeah, that was her at her peak. Isn't that fucked up? Some loser always gets her at her peak. Everyone else has to get the secondary shit. That's how it goes. That's just the way it is. Not that he was a loser, but you know what I mean? There was some weirdness to their relationship. I can't remember the specifics, but they had like a creepy ass relationship. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Um, Honestly, I got a hot take. I think Angelina Jolie has been an overrated actress. I don't think. I liked Tomb Raider. I did like Tomb Raider. I did like Wanted. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is okay. But I think her career, she was such a big quote unquote star because the paparazzi and the tabloids made her a star. But if you really look at how many movies did she make that you like, you're like, I don't know how many there are. You know what I'm saying? She was almost kind of a pre-Kardashian. I mean, she did more than the Kardashians did because she actually did movies. But in the same vein, a lot of her fame was the fame. She was famous for being famous. Kind of a little bit of an overrated career. Maleficent. I forgot about that. That was a pretty big movie. So I don't want to totally shortchange her. Wanted, Tomb Raider, Maleficent, her best roles. Yeah, I mean, those are probably her three most popular. I guess those are pretty big movies. So I don't want to totally shortchange her, right? But I still feel like, especially if you remember like that Brangelina era and just like where she was just so famous. She was famous for being famous. Kardashians were famous for spreading their legs. Fair enough. But I mean, she was almost, similar to the Paris Hiltons and other one. Fuck. It was Nicole Richie. They just were like famous and they weren't. And then, I mean, this is the late 2000s. So you have the kind of early social media era. You kind of have the tabloid era in the TMZ era, the rise of TMZ, the rise of tabloids, the rise of blogs, the rise of celebrity worship culture. And you just had, motherfuckers like that. Even the fucking Jersey Shore, if you guys remember those motherfuckers. A lot of reality stars kind of rode that wave too, like Jay Wild and what's the fucking other bitch? Snooki. And Tila Tequila I think she was one of the first big social media stars. You just had these weirdo celebrities that just kind of came on the scene and they just took up space. They took up media space. Actresses hit their late 40s and being on a Netflix type shows, what they do instead of movies. Yeah, now that is the thing. Doing Netflix thing. They're from MySpace rankings. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. That early MySpace era, you had a weird wave of these kind of weird celebrities. They were able. That was kind of the last era where, well, I say that you can still inorganically push things upon the people, but they were able to do it just really effectively. They didn't have to now when they do it, they have to fake it like they're not doing it, right? They have to act as if it's something is happening organically when it isn't. But then they just could kind of just make someone famous. But yeah, that is that was a story. I don't know if we've talked about the Warner Brothers thing, but it's finally looks to be final. I'm not sure when it all goes through, but it looks like Paramount's going to own Warner Brothers. There was no winning. There is no winning, just losing in different ways. And that's exactly what happened in this case. Rather Netflix got it or Paramount, it was never going to be a good situation. And I know 24 had talked a little bit about it. His point was valid. Is how did Paramount even stay in it? It looks like Zaslav or whatever the guy's name who owns Warner Brothers. It's not Paramount, Netflix stay in it because they had a much less bid. It was like 20, 30 billion with a B less. So it didn't make sense. And Glenzer, you are correct. A lot of people have said that the superhero movies have killed the Hollywood star. People want the character, not the actor. And I think that's part of the reason we are so sequeled out and IP'd out. But now that superhero movies seem to be dying, now what? Because I feel we'll see what happens with Spider-Man and Doomsday this year. But let's see what happens. Fantastic Four didn't make a lot of money. It made okay, but not enough. Superman, same thing. Well, I get, shout out to Mortal Kombat 2. The first one was kind of trash. Hopefully they redeem themselves with the second one. I may give it a chance. They did the same thing they did with the first one where they cut a really good trailer. Let's see if the movie lives up to the trailer or did they blew their whole load in the trailer. We'll find out. Anthony Mackie talking about that years ago. Audiences want X-Men and Avengers. They don't matter who the actors are. And, hey, we're going to find about that. We're going to find out how true that is long term because, of course, after Doomsday and Secret Wars 1 and 2, they're supposed to reboot the whole Marvel Universe. And we will see with new actors how popular these characters really are. Or is this just a run? Oh, please. Captain Durag. I didn't want to talk about that, Glizzard. Thank you for bringing it up, though. That's why I never wanted representation. Don't represent me. And apparently there was some black guy that made. I don't give a fuck. No. Don't represent me. Leave me alone. But we'll see how that's going to work the next 5 or 10 years, though. You're right, and that's been the thing. We haven't had movie stars in the recent. I mean, you have streaming, you have other things that are generating celebrities, but the movie star is kind of dying. Hell, a lot of movies, in order to be in a movie, you need a social media following. We're seeing the art of film and the art of acting and all this stuff kind of die. That they're writing movies on Netflix. Somebody mentioned Netflix to be dumbed down for people who are looking at their phones. And no one is drawing people into the box offices or into the theaters anymore. And even these IPs like Marvel and whatnot have lost a lot of their steam. The last big Marvel movie was No Way Home. Am I correct? Maybe that Doctor Strange made some money, but I feel like the last one to make over $800 million would probably be No Way Home. I could check just to verify. But, but you think about it, they released a lot of movies. They released Shang-Chi, they released the Marvels, what's the shit? The Red Hulk and the Falcon and the Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four. And none of it hit. None of it. I don't think any of it. I'm not sure if any of it made over $500 million. Maybe it just about. But let alone that big 8. And then you say, well, $500 million is a ton of money. How can you not? Well, they spend $300 or $400 million. And then they got to split that $500 million with the theaters. Now, Marvel and Disney takes a bigger split than most companies, but still. So when you split the money with the theaters, and then it's a less split for international, you get a worse split. The domestic box office takes a bigger chunk. So when you add it all together, you end up in the red. So how's the movie industry supposed to survive if now you taught everybody there's no movie star, that the movie star is the character, the movie star is the superhero, and now you taught people that the superhero is stupid. So you literally taught everyone to not watch movies. That's what you did. You spent everything on big budget tentpole type movies. You start making them shittier. You killed the movie star. You killed the budget too. You killed let's do, and maybe Paramount, they talked about doing 30 movies. Maybe Paramount's smart enough to say, we got to get back to these, make a movie for $20 million. If it makes $50 million, cool. And $20 million out the door. Not $20 million plus another $20 million for that. No, we put in $20 million of money, and that's for every fucking thing. And I mean, when you consider the technology we have, even though I fucking hate AI, but even without AI, there's a lot of talented CG artists and all that. And depending on what you're talking about, everything doesn't have to be a spectacle. We got to retrain the audience to watch films again and make films. Everybody's got to be retrained. The people behind the scenes got to be retrained on how to make films, good films. And I'm using that term almost to evoke what who was it? Scorsese, because he was talking about the MCU and how these are not really films. And to some extent, I agree with that. So you need to get actual filmmakers. You got to retrain them. You got to retrain the audience to watch films, and not need CGI quippy slot fest, which they don't even want to watch anymore. So we'll see how that goes. Oh no, Glisten, no. He says they're gonna make Captain Durag sidekicks Kid Grills and Watermelon Woman. They'll be fighting the Trumpinator. Actually, one of his sidekicks is a snow bunny. It's a white bunny. That's not a bad idea, Rave comedian. It's nice to see you back. Animated movies. Man, DC had a run of animated movies. If they would have put them out in the theaters, they would have done a lot better money wise. They kind of wasted a lot of them. And, not all of them were winners. They did have a little, I feel like they're actually in the low right now. The past few, but I haven't watched every single thing. I haven't watched everything. But, man, if you talk about, like, from throughout the whole tens, most of the tens, the late 2000s to the tens, they had so many great movies. So you're not kidding. Rather, it was the New Frontier, where they were in the 50s, Batman, Superman, Public Enemies. And what was the other one after with the Supergirl? That was pretty good. They had just a bunch. Obviously, fucking Flashpoint, Dark Knight Returns. I didn't see, I haven't seen a lot of more recent ones, like since 2020. I didn't see Injustice. I saw Long Halloween. Thought it was okay. Saw Hush. I didn't like that. They changed what was I don't know why they changed Hush. Sometimes they'll add shit. Speaking of add shit, I never saw that. What was it? Killing Joke. Because they added, I don't know what it is about them when fucking Bruce to fuck Batgirl. Just stop. But, yeah, but besides that, they had a bunch of good ones. Even Red Hood one, Enter the Red Hood. They had Superman. What the fuck was it called? All-Star Superman. That was pretty good. They had they had like a couple Green Lantern ones. They had a bunch. They had a bunch of really good ones. Oh, well, that went so fast, man. Let's see. Let's see what the hell that what you said. The clip, these clips. Where are we? Here we go. So that went so fast we couldn't even see what it was. It's not much to go on there, man. But I appreciate it anyway. Mask of the Phantasm. That's the classic. That's great. Is that what their thinking was? Listen, I'm glad we got those movies, but I think that was kind of silly. And they still make them regularly. But Fizz says that the reason DC went all straight to video was Mask of the Phantasm flop. It did flop in theaters. But man, that was such a great movie. Superhero movies, remakes, next up. Remakes of superhero movies, absolutely. Creativity in Iran is as common. Creativity Hollywood is as common as openly gay Jews in Iran. Holy smokes. Amazon is, if you're talking about, Amazon, their gift is the Amazon system, because I have Amazon Prime, but not for videos because I order shit. But I mean, goodness, I don't know. They're trying to use sports. That's what Amazon's trying to do. They have a football game each week on Thursday. They have, I think, a basketball game each week. I think they're getting into baseball at one point. So they're not even really going hard. Now, apparently, Amazon's pretty easy if you're an independent producer. As an independent creator, you can get to Amazon pretty quickly, or pretty, relatively reasonable, as opposed to other streaming services. But they're more, it seems like they're going with the TV and the internet, or not the internet, the sports route to try to get attention, get traction. And you're not wrong, Fizz. I mean, not just I say the 90s on back. Animation was thought of as childlike. I mean, we really go on the onset of early animation. It was, there was definitely some adult animation in the early things, and there's definitely been adult animation throughout the history of animation, but the perception of the wider audience, the general audience, has definitely, and I think even still to some extent, still to this day, is that animation is for kids. I don't agree with that, but I think a lot of people, that's just been the traditional perception. Titan AE was a decent anime movie that flopped. DVD price inching up and never hit Blu-ray. I remember Titan AE, but I never saw it. I just remember that the film existence. But unfortunately, 90s went back. That was a thing. Yo, that's the wildest thing. Not taking masculine lessons from motherfuckers back in the day. Used to goon in the theater. That was a thing. And appreciate you being here, Richard. Iron Giant was great. Wasn't until the 50s the cartoons came just for kids. Yeah, you go, but yeah, that's probably a good way of saying the 50s. I guess in the 40s you're starting to see more of it. But yeah, there was a lot of early. Oh, you been here the whole time? Cool. Appreciate it. But yeah, man. I think animation amongst adults is more widely accepted and more accepted now. But I still think the perception for a lot of people, they still think of video games, comic books, animation, action figures, toys as kid-only hobbies. But there was, how I got into toys and collecting toys. And shout out to the guy. It was Dow Elementary School does not exist anymore, but that's the school I used to go to as elementary. And I used to go over to a kid's house after school sometimes, and his dad, we had toys, the toys to play with in the basement, but his dad had a lot of room, and see, he would let us in, but we couldn't touch shit. He had all the classic, the OG Batman action figures from back when he was a kid, the 60s Batman, and a bunch of like G.I. Joe, all in box. Only God knows that collection's worth if he kept up with. I hope they did. He had all in box, and he showed. I was like, "Oh, this is the cool." And we were like 8, you know what I mean? But I still was just like, "Oh, this is the holy grail of cool shit." And he was collecting toys. His brother, so this dude was what got like, "Oh man, this is the coolest shit." When I'm an adult, I'm gonna do the same shit and just like fuck. I bullshit you not, I did. Once I was able to get some money, and I did the same shit, bro. So I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Everybody can suck my dick when it comes to, you're not childish. But when we were talking about, a second ago with the animation, unfortunately, they're not thinking even of that. They're just thinking as a business. I'm glad DC made all the animated films that they made. They should have gotten wider release. They left money on the table by not trying any of them. And they saw that when the fucking, what was the one? The Spider-Verse shit came out. Obviously, they had a different animation style. But they left a lot of money on the table. But DC, there's a reason Warner Brothers had to sell. They had all these properties, and they never knew how to use them. They never knew how to use them. You're right. They don't talk about hentai. I'll never be able to goon to digital shit. It's just not my thing. Looney Tunes do stand the test of time. And Looney Tunes, that's why some of them are censored now. Definitely more for what would I? There was a demographic, it turned into quote unquote family, but everything didn't have to be perfect as far as for kids, all ages, but not in a insulting way. Not like Barney, all ages. Like we were just talking about Batman animated series is probably a great way of putting it. So there was a lot of animation, and I think Looney Tunes, a lot of it falls into it, where it's like, hey, anyone could laugh at this from the ages of 5 to 55, right? We're not gonna. We'll crack jokes. We may crack silly jokes. We may be silly, but we're still not gonna insult the intelligence of the viewers. Tom and Jerry, yeah. Tom and Jerry's classic, yeah. Golly, and you know what? A lot of these properties we're talking about was owned by Warner Brothers. They own Tom. Don't they own Tom? Yeah, they own Hanna-Barbera, right? Hanna-Barbera. That's the Flintstones, Jetsons, fucking shit. Josie and the Pussycats. If you remember that, Space Ghost. All the Adult Swim stuff that was original. All the Cartoon Network stuff that was original, including Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, and then they again Hanna-Barbera. That means Scooby-Doo. Obviously DC, so that's Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, all that stuff. All these, just like each one of these are $1 billion bills each, and you just misused all of them, and now Paramount owns all of them. It's like, God damn. What a massive waste of all these incredible properties that have been beloved for decades and stood the test of time, and you couldn't profit off of them? What a massive, like, everyone involved with Warner Brothers the past 20 years at the executive level really ought to be ashamed of themselves. The origin story how I got to Batman is pretty funny. Feel free to let us know, Richard. Hey, the Spider-Verse shit. A lot of the Popeye cartoons, but Popeye was a legit sim. He actually was. I didn't think about this, Glenser. Oliver was leaving for Bluto. Bluto gets fresh. Then Popeye saves her like every fucking cartoon. I didn't even realize it. You're right. But she always went back to Bluto. Crazy. Spider-Verse is not good. People talk about the story. You're right. They don't. And Richard's correct. Miles Morales sucks. There's a lot of people who don't like Miles Morales, and I can't. They haven't made him into a character. What's the character trait of Miles Morales' personality? What's some challenges he's went through as a character? I guess in the game he loses his dad, but like what's type of challenges? Who's his relationships with? What is he thinking about? What does he like to do? How's his life being? Like who is he? He's not a character. He's an avatar. People like the design of the black and red suit. They like that he's black and Puerto Rican or Cuban, if you believe Spider-Man 2. What was it? Insomniac, because then they had the Cuban flag instead of Puerto Rican. But he's just a blank character. He's just a blank character. It was like 2 or 3 years old. Found Dick Grayson BTAS edit on YouTube. The video's still up. And it's currently 19 years old. Oh, wow. Your mom saw you watching it and got you Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Wow. That's pretty heavy to give to a 3-year-old. I mean, BTS was pretty heavy as a 5-year-old, so I really have no room to talk. Because I was 5 when it debuted. I was actually 4 in a few months turn on DVD. It was Return of the Joker. A few months later, it came out on because I think BTAS came out like September of '92. My birthday's in October, so I was only 5 when that shit came out, but it was still so impactful. Yeah, seeing Joker get shot, and even just Tim get brainwashed was very disturbing, very, very disturbing. Here's the edit. Creeped out by Batman retired Joker as a 6-year-old. Batman Beyond Return. Yeah, it's a pretty creepy thing. Hold on. Let's hold on. Let's look at this edit.
Things change.
No kidding. You guys used to be the greatest. Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo.
Maybe you should ask him.
I did. And you'll never guess what he said. Things change.
this going to be the whole origin?
It's amazing how you make your face just like...
Okay, I'm not going to watch the whole thing because of the music. I got enough issues, copyright. Shit, a lot of people say this is the first time AMV I ever seen. 19 years ago. Wow. So I've never seen this. Wow. So this is early YouTube. Well, now they have much more crazier copyright things. So nah, it's just music over it. You know what I mean? I guess we could. You know, I need the excuse to smoke. I'll go ahead and try to play it. I'll try to play it. Let me just get it off or get the thing off. If it fucks with me, I'll shut it back down. But that's what started off for you. I'll mute myself and play it. Why not? Why fucking not?
Like a wall. How you take your heart and turn it off. How I turn my head and lose it all. And it's unnerving how just one move puts me by myself. There you go, just trusting someone else. Now I know I put us both through hell. I'm not saying there wasn't nothing wrong. I just didn't think you'd ever get tired of me. And I'm not saying we ever had the right to hold on. I just didn't want to let it get away from me. But if that's how it's gonna be, straight out from underneath.
Real quick, is this Matchbox 20? Yo, I used to fuck with Matchbox 20 back in the day. I talk about the music. And fuck Barbara Gordon, that fucking whore. Why do they always make her a whore? All right, we keep playing the shit.
And we'll see who's sorry now. If that's how it's gonna stand when you know you've been dependent on the one you're leaving now. The one you're leaving out.
I thought we had the same goals.
Things change. I changed. The game's over, Batman. I quit. When the door shuts, don't worry about me. It's not attention that I want from you. I need you to trust who I'm gonna be, and in everything I'm going to do.
Let's give me copyright issue. You
I
see, the guy almost got nostalgic for that old style of, you know, because YouTube wasn't taken seriously, so you didn't spend 3 hours editing everything and need all these sharp edits. You just, you know, put a song behind a little bit of footage and just played it. You know what I'm saying? There was no copyright claims and all that shit. So it was a different thing. So, man, if you were watching something else, she'd have got you something else. Like, if you were fucking watching, they got you weren't watching some garbage. Like, you know what I mean? But you know what? I'm trying to think, like, what could you have watched that would have been terrible? Like, you know, I'm not to say that everything was great, but I mean, let's say you watch a Johnny Bravo edit. It's like, it wasn't going to be terrible. She got you like a Johnny Bravo DVD or something. You know what I mean? Or a fucking Powerpuff Girls, or like you say you were 3 steps in 2007. I mean, what? Oh man! You know, a Ben 10 CD or DVD. Like, there's a lot of stuff that would have not been said. Fred. Oh shit! Fred the movie. God damn, bro, Fred. Holy shit. So yeah, you probably might see something like that. I wasn't too big into a lot of that shit. A lot of live action, because first off, by then I'm in my early 20s, and I was 20. I turned 20 in 07. So like shit like Fred, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, like that was my brother in them era and younger. So I didn't really, I was like, I'm not to watch fucking Fred. Like I didn't. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for people in my age group. I'm not saying no one 20 and over liked Fred. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. I remember those movies too because I remember working at Meyer. Yeah, I remember he started on YouTube, but I remember they started selling DVDs, and I was just like, what the fuck? It was honestly, when Fred was one of the first thing. Again, you had the Tila Tequila show. But like, these internet personalities are becoming mainstream in the traditional way because again, going through because did they play Fred on like one of these like Nickelodeon or something at one point? So when that was the mainstream TV. He's prototype. I show speak. Yeah, basically prototype for a lot of stuff. So you had like things like Fred or Tila Tequila, that early internet, you're starting to see. But the thing was to bring them into the mainstream and to bring them onto the traditional broadcasting because that still was what you need to do to be a star, where now everything traditional was trying to get on the internet. He did have a show on Nickelodeon. Okay, I thought it was a connection to Nickelodeon at one point. Thanks, Fizz. But yeah, that's... I wasn't, like I said, it wasn't for me, but, I couldn't, I remember Cena being on there, but outside of that, I don't really know much. Was it Cena like Fred's dad or something? I can't remember. Like I said, it wasn't my thing. I'm not saying I didn't have a cursory knowledge, but, and shout out to yeah, okay, I thought it was. I thought Cena had a connection to that. And I was kind of, I didn't hate Cena, but I was like, Cena's doing this now too. Jeez. I was, I'm not to say I wasn't like a hate Cena fan, but I was just like, I was a little annoyed. I was more of a Batista guy. I'm not going to lie. You didn't, and there was never an explicit choose one of them. But there was a soft, especially when you think they both kind of came up. That 05 year was like both of their years. Right? So it wasn't like I hated Cena. I just liked Batista more. I mean, I tell you, what the moment where I started to really appreciate Cena was that fucking Rumble. Was it New York or something? When he came back, I'm like, he is a tough. And this motherfucker's tough. Either they're lying about the injury, which they weren't, because he had the injury. Batista also makes better movies, says P.O. Voice. Shout out to Kick. I actually caught a Kick message live. I happened to be looking. There was a bot. But there's a real person that says Batista made, which I agree. Batista's ironically probably the best actor out of the bunch of wrestlers turned actors. Blue Tista. So yeah, I miss Cena, but yeah, when that Royal Rumble, when he came back at number 30 as a surprise, I was like, okay, any little feeling, just the actual thing, will probably get claimed. Oh wait, yeah, that was like, oh shit, this is a tough bastard. And again, I didn't hate Cena. But this, okay, we already got that. Ain't no bot. Yeah, you're not a bot, P.O. Voice, but the bankrupt stamp, whatever the hell, that's a bot. So I saw that, and then you showed up. Thank you for being here. We rarely get people on Kick. I somehow have 40 followers. I have been streaming to Kick for like 3 or 4 years. Now Kick is starting to get popular as a platform. They have done nothing to push me. I don't know what to do. I don't know how the hell to get Kick, but I appreciate you being here. We're multi-streaming on YouTube and Twitch, and the main platform is YouTube because that's the one that we can get the most people to watch. So thank you for being here. If I miss a message, that's why. But thank you for being here. Feel free to follow or sub or whatever the hell the kick is. So yeah, we'll probably get some copyright. Ooh, wrong thing. We'll get some copyright trouble. What'll probably happen is they'll tell me after. So if you watch this stream after, these segments are going to be cut out, but whatever. I walk alone. Sorry, Batista he was just cool as shit. Your kick is full of bots, yeah. And yeah, shout out to a lot of it is Rampage. Rampage. It just became a lot of a real alternative to Twitch. You got Rampage, you got Neon. I think Neon's on Kick. There's a lot of these big people went to Kick, and eventually enough people have gotten it going. So we'll see. We'll see. If I did more clips, not a Cena fan, he sees Justice Push as their star boy. I mean, listen, I was never, I was never. He definitely, they definitely overpushed him to some extent. I mean, when I say that, but at the same time, I don't. You look back, who were they gonna not push him for? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are they gonna not push him for? I mean, Wade Barrett. You know what I'm saying? Some people wanted Wade. I like Wade Barrett. Drew McIntyre the first time. I mean, they could have been a better. And honestly, WWE has got worse and worse at making stars over the years. So that's not on that. But I mean, John Cena was the top guy. I think another thing that kind of hurts Cena's perception. Yeah, they gonna push Sin Cara. Is every other top guy's run ended way earlier than Cena's. I mean, you have Hulkamania. That was probably the longest run beforehand. You have from 84. He had been in the WWE before then, but you really have 84 to, you want to say 93, but I would say 84 to the Warrior. What was that? 91, 90? So you only got 5-6 years for real, but then a couple years after. You look at Stone Cold, it's really 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Of that top guy, say with The Rock. And so everybody else, you didn't get 10 years, 15 years of the same guy in the same place like that. Maybe you could go back to the NWA with like a Harley Race or some shit, but like you just didn't get, you want to call the NWA and WCW with Ric Flair, but even then he wasn't the top guy the whole time, all of it. So it was like that kind of was a unique situation where you're like, all right, it's 2005, he's the top guy. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, basically, you know what I mean? He was really the top guy. Now 15, that's where you start to kind of have him, and ironically, it's probably when he got to be beloved. He started doing a lot of stuff with the indie guys. I say the indie guys. I remember the Kevin Owens thing. The Kevin Owens, the U.S. Open Challenge, 2016, you have him and AJ. 2017, and this is the era where a lot of people started to turn on him in the positive. But just that having that 05 to 2014, and for 9 years he's the absolute top guy, and it's just like that had never really happened before or even since. I mean, even when you say Reigns, obviously Reigns has been well booked since 15 and maybe one of the most important characters, but I think most people would say it would just say the Tribal Chief era. Hulk had a lot of bad PR. And Cena's been a pretty good guy. Cena's a good guy. There was other top guys. Yeah, and that's another thing. There were other top guys, yeah. And at the beginning of Cena's career, you had other top guys. I mentioned Batista and obviously Orton, Edge, Undertaker. You had all these guys for the first few years of that. But after that, I think that 2010 on, That's when people start to get really annoyed because it's like, okay, there's no other stars. Sometimes we get an Undertaker. That's the era where we're only waiting for Undertaker once a year. He's not really an active guy. We only there's really no active stars. There's no one being built up. Honestly, Punk and Danielson, that was kind of they kind of became the guy. You know, neither one of them actually even took the reins, but they, you know what I mean. They kind of helped usher in the indie era because they inadvertently brought a lot of eyes to the indies. No, this is all on the company. But a lot of things can be on the company. The talent's got to take the backlash. Look at Jey Uso. How much of people hate on him for things that the company did? And obviously, there's still that it's a split audience with Uso. There's a split audience with Cena too, though. You got a lot of people still fuck with Cena, still love Cena. A lot of people hated him, but obviously, it's not enough. And everybody wanted to turn Cena heel for who? You don't just turn a motherfucker heel. You need especially after they tried that with Stone Cold. We'll just turn him heel. And then they didn't have a top face from the feud because Rock was going to Hollywood. And so they was lost. And so Vince was never going to do that again. Just turn a motherfucker. And they almost turned Cena heel, by the way. I think when they had Punk, they're like, maybe. But they gave him that long run. The numbers, they didn't like the numbers they got back. And obviously Punk was still a star. He wouldn't have been able to have 2 fights in the UFC if he wasn't a star. He wouldn't be champion now if he wasn't a star. So I'm not going to shit on Punk. But I'm just telling you what happened. I mean, they gave him the belt for like 400 days, and they were not quite happy with the numbers. Doesn't mean they were terrible in the long run when you compare it to other champions. Just that's what happened. Now they turn one heel without giving him a chance. Yeah. Is that on Cena? Nobody wanted to step up. I think, that's why I said only people that really kind of came out of that era that really ascended to the top was Danielson and Punk. So, yeah, this isn't a blame of the Cena. It's just me stating my perception of what happened. Orton was real big, but he wasn't pushed like Cena, yeah. He was never pushed as Cena was. But, Batista leaving also hurt. And he left because he didn't like the PG. And he wanted to get in the movies. And obviously that was probably the right decision for him. But him leaving, again, as a Batista fan. And yeah, Randy was a better heel. Similar to the Edge. Edge was pushed. Edge was pushed too. Edge was pushed crazy. I mean, Orton and Edge were both pushed crazy as heels too. But honestly, you look back, you say, well, what babyface ever got hot enough that you would have put them ahead of Cena or on par of Cena outside of CM Punk and then later on Bryan Danielson? I can't think. If anyone can name another baby, you had that Miz get over as a heel. I can't really think of another baby face that was even close. Not a face. A lot of people will talk about the Nexus and Wade Bear. Okay, even if you do that, he's still a heel. I can't think of a face that was active, that came up, that was even close. Mizdow, remember that? Damian Mizdow? Like, who the fuck? Really think about it. Orton made heel cooking motherfuckers in the face. Yeah, bro. Now, 08 to 09 Orton was fucking crazy. When he was kicking people in the head, like he couldn't control himself. We have explosive. So, what was the quote, quote, mental disorder they gave Orton? It's like explosive disorder or something. Like, he couldn't control his own actions. That shit was crazy. Yeah, Mizdow was like 2014, 2015. But like that's what I'm trying to say. Like there was not even a big you know who the next biggest face was? And tell me if I'm lying. It was Santino Marella. We're talking the early 10s. of the early 10s, who's the next biggest face? If you're, Batista's left, and Undertaker don't count because he's only coming back once a year. And you're talking about, you have Cena, and then later on, 2011, you get the rise of CM Punk. Because even CM Punk most of the time was a heel, and Bryan Danielson a lot of that time was a heel. But you start to get the rise of babyface CM Punk, and then later you get the rise of babyface Danielson. That's not till 2013. Of the early 10s, between 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, the next biggest face is Santino Marella. And I don't know who else would have even close. And he was a clear mid-card face. And listen, this is all the company's fault. This is all the company's fault. But they didn't build up another face. So they had to go with Cena. There was no face that could even, they wanted you mentioned Sin Cara. They wanted Sin Cara to work like a motherfucker. They wanted him to replace Ray. Then they got my man, who I did like, Alberto Del Rio. Again, heel. Now, somebody might come in, hey, what about Dolph Ziggler? He was still a heel, though, remember. When that time when he's still a heel most of that time. I'm a Dolph fan. I would like to think they could have done something. But even then, by the time Dolph got popular, that's still a little later, too. That's like 20. When you talk about Dolph at his peak popularity, you're talking about 2013, 2014, 2015. That's I guess there's that small overlap between 13. But I'm still, so maybe him. But that's still late in the game. You mean that's around the time Danielson is coming up. So that almost defeats the fucking purpose. So honestly, I saw Santino, and yeah, he did win the world champ. Yeah, Dolph was a heel. That's why I said he was a heel. He really wasn't a face. He was a heel when he came out and won the champ. But the people fucked with him. I was a Dolph stan, bro. I wanted. He did win a world championship like twice, right? I really wanted a nice Dolph run. And then after that fucking Survivor Series, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted Dolph to win the Royal Rumble. I wanted Dolph to win the Royal Rumble after that Survivor Series. That's in that 2015 Royal Rumble. A lot of people wanted Danielson and shit to win it, and when Bray threw him out, everybody booed, and they just booed and took over the thing. If fucking Dolph Ziggler would have won that Royal Rumble, I'd have lost my shit. I'd have lost my shit. I was the thing. You think Sting ruined the moment? In that moment, I didn't think it. I think long-term people have said that. In that moment, I was just happy that Dolph was the guy to pin the Authority. I was like, oh, man, they about to finally push him. But that was really more for Sting. So, and then, what did Triple H do when he finally faced Sting? What does WWE do? They fuck it up. Instead of having Sting and Taker, they do Sting and the Authority. They do another WCW callback for the match for Sting and Triple H, which isn't a terrible match, to be honest, but they should have. That was the chance. That was the only. You got to know that's your only chance. You got to know we got to do Sting Taker. Was he 0-3 in WWE? I think so. They should have made sure Sting and Taker happened. He probably still have been 0-3. He just been 0-4. But or 0-3 with a different, Triple H said Triple H had a Taker, but they should have made sure it did that. It's a corporation issue. Look at more profits than creativity. Absolutely, that's why they call the shitification of entertainment. Like you said, same with anything anymore. That's why I can barely watch sports. I can barely watch sports, man. I put it on as background noise, but I just can't because it's so fucking trash. Whether it's the NBA is trash, the MLB is about to go through a work stoppage, NFL is trash, and it's not that there's no watchable moments, but you just see I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old head, but it's a lot. All of the sports products seem less watchable. Zack Ryder, he's probably another guy that was up there in as far as faces. in that era. Zack Ryder overseen it, but again, you know what I mean. You're talking about, could they have gave Zack Ryder a good push and made him something? Maybe. He's back and he's losing again. So I'm not even watching the day-to-day product. I don't even know if I watch Mania, man. I've been not following so much. I didn't even know Elimination Chamber was this week. Yeah, basically anything entertainment is all down straight here. You're right, Pure Voice. It's all downhill. We're talking a little bit about Warner Brothers. Like, how the hell did you lose with all these fucking properties and all this shit that you had? You had all these fucking, everything from Batman and Tom and Jerry to Scooby-Doo to Looney Tunes to everything. All these Cartoon Network properties, and that's just some of it. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat. And I'm just scratching the surface. All this shit that they own, and they couldn't stay afloat. And now Paramount owns all of it. It's like, how the fuck did you fuck that up? But I mean, oh fuck, I forgot all about Velma, P.O. Voice. I'd rather have stayed. I never understood why that happened, Velma. Because my thought was, speaking of Cartoon Network, this is an Adult Swim cartoon, but you had already done an adult-oriented Scooby-Doo, and it was the Mike Tyson Mysteries. So why are you doing an adult-oriented Scooby-Doo with the property, but centering around Velma, and then race-swapping everybody? Like, what is this? And adding, like, Mindy Kaling from The Office to this. Like, what is going on? How did this get done? Why? And why did you do it? We had an extra view on Kick They Left with lesbian shit. Yeah, I guess that was just the era to, put a chick in and make it gay or lame, make it quote unquote woke, make it cultural Marxist, race swap everything, make it about lesbians and Cal Arts and goofiness. No, when I said Adult Swim, I said Mike Tyson Mysteries. That was on Adult Swim, wasn't it? Mike Tyson Mysteries? I said, speaking of the Mike Tyson Mysteries, that was an example of an adult-oriented Scooby-Doo type show. The Mike Tyson Mysteries with, obviously, Mike Tyson as the titular character, Norman Donald, rest in peace, as Pigeon, and I forgot who. I don't know who played the other two characters. Yes, Marcus, and what was his daughter's name? He had an Asian daughter. But the Mike Tyson Mysteries were on, I think, Adult Swim. And they had already did the template for how to do a Scooby-Doo show without it being called Scooby-Doo or even having to do with the platform or property Scooby-Doo, right? You can do, and being adult-oriented in a comedy. And it was successful to me. I liked it. And my thought was, if you really want Mindy Kaling in a Velma-like role relative to a not Tyson, but a Scooby-Doo situation, why not just create an original property? Why go back to this established property and use that when you can make your own property from scratch? It wasn't even try. Well, you know what? I didn't watch it to know. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even watch it enough to know. You're probably correct. I just know it used obviously the Scooby-Doo property, so maybe it wasn't. But I didn't watch. I remember when that was announced. I think I might even covered it when it was announced on one of these old Vigilante Williamson shows way back in the day. And I was like, man, this doesn't look like it's gonna be successful, and it was not. I never understood why that happened. Never understood why that happened. But it's Hollywood, it's Warner Brothers, it's wasting money, it's making dumb decisions to the point where you go bankrupt. It's a company that's sold 4 times since 2001. That's what they do. Bring back the Vigilante Williamson show. The idea, I guess what the difference is between that and what these casuals were, really was preparation. The casuals, I just wing it and just say whatever. And those I would have like 3 to 4 articles, cover each article, and then try to clip them out. So creativity was big back then. There was no big IP to cash in. They took chances on shows like, oh fuck, I forgot about Megas XLR. Stupid, yeah, but they still took chances. Shout out to SWAT Cats. That was before that. But I just always liked SWAT Cats. Oh wow, AI might deleted. Well, I see with lesbian shit. So you talk about Kick, which is, I see enough Kick streamers to know they say way worse than lesbian shit. PO Voice on Kick, if you're following some Kick, says with lesbian shit, what the fuck? And the AI mod for Kick fucking struck through this like it was some bad. Hey man, I mentioned SWAT Cats. I got the follow. I have the SWAT Cats. I got a few different DVDs. Like I said, I don't have. Shout out to 24/7. If you're watching and you're lurking, please hit me up. Please. I don't have your current number, so please contact me. Or if I do, I reached out before and there was no response. But he has a great 24/7 Fusion Media. He's on YouTube. He has an incredible collection of DVDs. He's also in the Houston area. Mine's nowhere near that, but I got a few things, a few pieces. I got the SWAT Cats on DVD. I originally got Miami Vice on DVD. SWAT Cats was my shit, yeah. So going back to YouTube, Fizz talking about Velma, said it was more a generic high school show with racist and sexist main character who thinks she's smarter than everyone. Jesus, that sounds like a winner. Sounds like it'll help make money. That'll put asses in the seats. Like, what the fuck? But I don't know, maybe. I do want to take this streaming a little bit more seriously once I can get my housing stuff situated in the next couple months. And once we get situated, then after this move, then we will, I'll try to have a set, better set, and be on camera a lot more. Yeah, I was a huge SWAT Cats fan. There's a lot, Gargoyles. They had a lot of good stuff. No, it's an era before Megas. I'm thinking of the 90s when I was a kid, right? And yeah, people took shit more seriously. I think over the course of the 2000s, a lot of people have been disheartened. And not only have people been disheartened, a lot of Hollywood execs, they take certain things for granted. They take talent for granted. And there's a lot more nepotism and, how people get the roles they get. And it led to a lot of more talented individuals who may be more passionate and more talented and more creative, more risk-taking. Those are not the people that get further and further up in the entertainment industry and the Hollywood system, amongst other gatekeepers, right? We've all heard about the Diddy Party thing and some of the stuff that even a Nickelodeon with Dan Snyder. So there is that casting couch gatekeep amongst others. Whatever has happened, where we are now, a few corporations own all the major IP. They've made the entertainment industry almost exclusively about established IP. And they've really shut down original IP. But that in saying that, when the Sinners comes out, it's a decent deal. I was in the indie game space, and I actually still want to play this demo. That's the indie game space. You actually have an audience where a game that is made by 1 to 5 people could get millions of people to buy it. Games are the only thing where the independents have that same thing, and it took a while. It wasn't just overnight that you had people taking independent games as seriously as they do now. And it went further to other cartoons like the new Snow White. I don't know much. There's a new Snow White cartoon. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar, man. Speaking of the game, let me see. This is a demo. It's called Stick it to the stick man. Pause. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Hold on. Oops. Anyone on Twitch? No. Ain't no love in the heart of the city for Twitch. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the new Snow White. 500 reads your own property in a month without any bad reviews. Took it down, want to have it later. And good luck with secret comics and all that stuff. That's dope. Shout out to Wattpad. Shout out to actually, you're the only probably writer on Wattpad. I mean, I'm not gonna count all those smut writers who just write about fucking threesomes with fictional characters. Like that's not writing. Just like writing about centaurs being milked is not writing. Like that's not. No, that doesn't. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. No, you got to do more. So shout out to actually being a good writer on Wattpad, because I think like people, oh shit, somebody actually wrote this, because Wattpad's doesn't have the rep of it doesn't have necessarily the it doesn't have a great rep. You know what I'm saying? If you hadn't been putting stuff on it, I don't know if I'll be using it. And feel free, plug your stuff away. Lots of demos. Oh, okay, so I'm got all this stuff, this fucking Steam stuff popping up. I thought I already had this. I thought all I had to do was launch. So this is going to take a little bit, so I guess I'll rant. Was it Minotaurs being milked? It was something. It was some stupid farm. So one of y'all had brought this weird online e-novel to my attention. I forgot what it was, but it was something about some Minotaur. What the fuck was the shit called? They probably are thinking that Owlman's gonna fuck people. Is it Minotaur? Minotaur Farm. Here it is. Morning Glory Milking Farm, a monster bait romance. Yeah, it's a monster bait romance by C.M. Nakasta. She is a USA Today best-selling author, and she says professional. She wrote this shit, I'm assuming. Hold on, I'll show it to you. Hopefully it doesn't dox my shit with his Amazon page. C.M. Nakasta is a USA Today best-selling author and professional procrastinator from Cleveland, Ohio. She's always preferred beasts to boys, the macabre to milk toast. I've read this before. I read this last time we talked about this damn thing. And the unknown darkness in the shadows to the Chad next door. She lives in a crumbling old Victorian with a scaredy cat dachshund. She writes non-traditional romances featuring beastly boys with equal parts heart and heat. She's waiting for the Hallmark Channel to get with the program and start a paranormal lover series. Do you love exclusive stories and want character art, exclusive merchandise, and other VIP books? Want to learn about Cambric Creek and chat with other wishful residents in an exclusive Discord forum? Become a VIP on Patreon, Monster Bay. Let me show you. It's this Morning Glory Milky Farm, but I don't want Amazon. It just has my location and username and all that shit. So yeah, it's a fucking trip. So this is what I'm talking about with Minotaurs being milked. This is this is a huge thing, and this to me this isn't writing. That's shout out to whatever this bitch's name is. This is not writing. Here's the cover if you guys were wondering. Oops. Oh, no, I'm not. I don't want to subscribe to get 10 days. Oh, jeez, all this pop-ups. Hold on. This is a USA Today best-selling author. This is the cover. So you know she's fucked. She's talked about her dachshund. You know she fucked her. She fucked that dog. She's fucking animals, man. I'm gonna just keep it 1,000%. This is a part of her Cambric Creek monster romance series. So this is what and this is like a whole wave. There's a lot of women writing these weird romance, quote unquote, where they're either like getting raped by billionaires or fucking animals or some shit. And they're the shit gets popular. They use ChatGPT and Thirst to write garbage. And it's become a popular wave. Again, this is a USA Today best-selling author who has a whole series of this shit and a whole fan base of this shit. This is modern entertainment. Welcome to the future. Welcome to the future. Your garbage women smut. It was something Milk and Farm. Yeah, women gooner bait. Yeah. Watch the shoot on here YouTube that goes over it. It's wild. I don't know if I really want to. I'm scared to. I'm scared to, but even in the gaming, look at Power World shitting on Nintendo. I know they had a legal thing. And I tried Power World. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't my thing. It wasn't my thing. It was weird, how that whole thing went down. It took them a while to actually sue. I think they have. Actually, I don't know what happened with that. Didn't Nintendo eventually sue over Power World? They didn't have launch. They let it breathe for a little bit, and then they sued. But I don't remember what happened after they sued. So yeah, PO Voice is aware of the whatever milking farm. But yeah, there's a lot of women gooner bait on the internet. And honestly, this is we talk about different mediums failing. This is not what literature is. There's not going to be this. I'm not a big novel guy or a novelist, or that's not my biggest interest. But the quote unquote great American novel was this idealized piece of culture that really talented individuals used to take years and years and years to painstakingly create. And now you just have fucking, Morning Glory Milking Farm. Be best-selling authors, best-selling, smut. And Fizz eventually got into it. Our man's 2 years old now. Jesus Christ. I feel old. But man, entertainment, we have to be the new entertainers. We have to create IP. Speaking of which, it took fucking months of switching out applications and sending emails and all this shit. I am finally a registered publisher on ASCAP, which is, that was kind of a bottleneck before putting out more music. I still got to register this stuff. I do have the copyright, which actually just came in. So I have the copyright of my project that, Borrow Nostalgia, doesn't exist. It's on Spotify now. On Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. And then actually after I moved on, another thing I'm going to work with I've made music off and on 20 years plus and never had I've had lessons on instruments, but never had any real coach or anyone tell me teach me how to make beats. I'm self-taught for the first 10 years, and then when I got back into it, then I started using the internet tutorials to fill in the blanks. But I'm gonna work. Ideally, the plan is to work with a production coach, and someone who's gotten some results on Spotify. So we'll see how that goes. I was talking with them the other day. Hopefully we can. Man, if I really hope this motherfucker contacts me 24/7, please text, please. Hopefully, maybe I said maybe he sent the email and I didn't see it. But hopefully we can get it. If he can help mix, or his brother can help mix things, and there's production they want me to work with. I mean, this project's done, but I'll gladly do. One of my big inspirations, Bodie James, will do a project with anybody in a heartbeat. So if we can collaborate on the project together, I have no problem putting that together one way or another. And I'll bring out and about. So they did, but I think they lost trying to patent everything they could. Is there if you want to watch it for the stream? Okay, let's see. I'm waiting for this fucking Stickman game to install. I thought I should have pre-installed it before I started the stream, but I thought it was downloading. All I do is open it and it'll be cool. It's just a demo. So maybe, maybe we can't watch this Morning Glory bullshit. I kind of don't want to know more, but this is a double-edged sword. One, this shows how much entertainment's falling off, but it also is an independent creator who was able to have a lot of success. Just like what's the guy, Quan Mills? You guys ever see that? I mean, there is in the writing world, there's this weird independent niche. I almost call it the Miles effect. You know what I mean? Or if you old enough to remember Lil B, just people are cool with garbage, almost intentional garbage, if it's entertaining enough. So there is something to just, for anyone who gets caught up in, should I release something? Just sometimes you do just got to put it out, because who would ever think of Morning Glory Milking Farm getting someone to a national level? What is an hour breakdown? Shit. Hagman. I haven't watched Shoe on Head. She has 2 million subscribers now. She was this baby dates. Last time I didn't really watch Shoe on Head. I just knew who she was. I will, because I want to do a game, but I'm not going to call the project For the Love of the Game now, because I saw somebody else use it, and that's an off-used title. I am thinking of. Oh shit! We finally got this game. Speaking of games, is this? Okay, hold on. When I do the synthwave, another synth pop project. Maybe calling it Cyber Survivors or something, and doing like a Survivors clone level, at least. Vampire Survivors. So and hot as fuck, talking about Shoe on Head. Man, I haven't really watched her content since she had like under 1 million subs. She was close to. She was like 800,000-900,000 when I was watching. This is like maybe 5 or 6 years, but I hadn't, followed her since. I will do some VigilanteWilliamson content. I want to do a short film one day. Okay. Oh, real quick. Because the sound is killing me. Hold on. Because, all right. Okay. Going back to, yeah, I'm glad I did this. So yeah, hold on a second. I'm trying to get everything up so I can see you guys. Say, hey, Miles. And sorry, P.O. Voice. Hopefully I'll be able to. I used to have it so I could see everyone's comments on every screen, but I forgot how to do that. Actually, did I? Oh, shit, I don't have it installed. So if I miss a comment, blame my head, not my heart. So let's try this game and make sure you guys can see it because I'm screwing up everything I can. So stick it to the stick, man. Oh, come on, settings. Is it not? Oh, it's not reading my controller. Hold on a second. Let me go back into Steam. Maybe I have to use DS4. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's weird. Okay, hopefully. Okay, let me try to restart.
You're fired.
I think this game has like an anti-corporate gimmick. I think that's the whole thing. All right, I'm about to try to get this started. And this is the last thing we do for the stream, really. And I've never played it. I just saw a little thing on it. This is just the demo. The real game's only $5. It's early access, so they're still process making it. I think it started, or its first release was last summer. I'm like, all right, we talk about independent entertainment. I want to be a part of it as a creator. We got to champion the independent entertainment that exists. So I need to play more indie games on these streams. Okay. And hopefully, like I said, I'm a publisher now. If I can get music in indie games, that would be great. So I really got to get my production going. And it's black for everyone, so that's what she said. I don't know what the hell's taking it. Okay, there we go. Okay, we got it. Let's get back to work. Single player. Okay. So I've never played this. Just checking. So I go understand all the extra shit that goes in the stream. I appreciate that PO voice.
Hey you, that's my bench. Go get a job, loser. They're hiring at finance offices. I used to work there, but I got fired.
Okay. Can I punch him? Oh, jeez. Would you like a job?
No. No, 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 no.
My son is contrary to country thinking. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. Jobs. Here's jump.
Wait your turn!
Fuck y'all.
Stay by what's up first!
Get in the elevator.
Okay.
I'm the boss. This is old guy.
Yeah, we're friends.
Oh, right. Yeah, old guy says you're the best at doing the thing. The thing we do here.
Yep, the best.
Okay then. Old guy, you're fired.
What?
New guy, fire old guy. We don't need old guy anymore.
Oh, I thought we were friends.
Oh, this is.
Hurry up and fire this guy.
I'm bumping on everybody.
Okay, I'll do it myself.
It's okay. Just make it quick.
I can't see anything.
We're still on for Fortnite next week, right?
S.
No. No.
Uh-oh, so I don't know why I can't see the whole screen. This is early access. Oh, shoot. don't know what I was supposed to do. And I'm not sure if I'm. Got fired. Wait, no. I'm just whooping on other stick figures. I guess that's how you stay alive. Okay, I see what this. It's trying to like be, allegorical to the corporate world. Everyone having a kind of fight each other, and every man for themselves. Everybody hates their job, but they gotta fight to keep it. Oh, so the next one is the next move. Can I switch the move? Okay. Sorry, shit. I can't see everybody's message. No one's talking on YouTube, but my man was on Kick. Not my man, pause. The brother on Kick. Oh man, I'm just whooping on little people. This is brutal. And as a corporal, I get the allegory. Right now the AI is not that challenging. Yeah, pause. I am not a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, so I don't want that to. Be misconstrued. Uh-oh, boss.
Bring on the charge.
Shit. Okay, finally got a challenge. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh man. Oh, that's it. Okay, the AI seems pretty weak. I know this is just a demo. And I know this is the beat 'em up styles is not necessarily always the most challenging, but you can make the AI a little bit better than this. Okay. This is crazy. This is climbing the corporate ladders, beating the shit out of the motherfuckers. Oops. Oh shoot. Oh, what needs to do? Corporate ladder of success, everybody. So whoever created this definitely wasn't the biggest fan of their corporate job. Shut up. And I want to take it on this game.
You've come to take my job. You'll have to fire me first.
So this is the new CEO. We demand expansion. Obey us.
Refuse.
I don't think you understand. We don't normally ask twice.
Fuck.
Interesting. You know we could just fire you, right? You're fired.
Oh shit.
Sigh. Another failure.
Hey, made 35K. Is that it?
So, they fired you, huh? Thought you could do things your way. The game's rigged, bud. The shareholders always get what they want.
Any other places? Or is that it? Okay. Yeah, that's it for this demo. I mean, what happens if I go back? Is it just the same thing?
No, no, no.
Let's see. Get fired. I guess I'll choose the other thing and see what that says. We'll call it. Oh shit. Yeah, the AI could be a little better. The enemy AI. This is an early access game. We'll play more indie games on this channel. Like I said, indie games is the one form of entertainment that independent creators have a real chance of actually getting something, hitting something big. I guess fucking alt romance or whatever the fuck they called it, beast romance is another way if you want to be, if you want to write about your own milking farm. Pause. Maybe that's another way to be successful in the creative spaces. Oh shit. But I don't think that's for anyone here. I'm getting fucked up. I may not be able to make it. Shit. I was playing about how easy, quote unquote, it is. I'm getting whooped on. Fucked up. the only books people. Yeah, the only books people make now is porn. So I would say, you know, if you really are a writer and you like, man, one day I'm gonna write that novel. Today's that day. You know what I'm saying? This is the era where you should really, you know, if you have a creative heart, you always want to make that game or that album or that movie, even. You know, this is the era to do it. You know, you can rent a camera. You can. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. If there's a will, there's a way. Duking a motherfucker. They got some cool moves. They got to improve the enemy AI. If they can improve the enemy AI, I like the look. I get the messaging, I guess.
So this is the new CEO.
New CEO.
We demand expansion.
Try the Ironfall demo. Play one version. We don't obey.
Excellent.
I may try that.
This is acceptable.
Now I'm the boss.
I made more money. And that's it.
Now that I'm the boss, I get to choose a new employee.
Pick me.
No, me.
Actually, I'm the best.
I'll be the judge of that.
That hurt. I can't take it. Leave me alone. Thank you, sir. Great kick, sir.
I've made my choice.
I won't disappoint you.
We'll see. Now get to work. Okay, new guy. The shareholders are telling me to expand, so I have a task for you. Go buy an expansion at the tower. Let me give you some advice. I used to be a blue dickhead like you, but now I'm the boss. And red. If you don't like taking orders, you could get to work and try take my place.
No. No.
Okay, it's just the same level. Okay. Okay. I think, you know, change career. What's this?
No. No. No.
Oh, the character instead of career. Wish this player select back to work. Oh, B is special. I didn't even know it. All right, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
You're fired.
Okay, I get it now. I understand it now, as they say. And there's stick it to the stick, man. You guys can see my Steam. I'm gonna go ahead. We get the 2 hour mark. We almost did. We almost did. P.O. voice. You said the shit was hitting real close to home. Way too real. It's all good. Understand the extra. Okay, cool. Yeah, appreciate you being here, P.O. voice. Appreciate the sub to the kick. One day the kick will be expanded. We will see about that. What do we have here? Nauseous. Oh, no, that's another bot on Twitch. Please watch Fizz's latest video. He has the link in the chat and YouTube. Please watch his video. You know, like I said, it's YouTube is a cruel mistress. I've been on it for 6 years. It's hard to get traction. If you can help my man Fizz out, again, not my man, pause. My friend Fizz out. I'd appreciate it. That was a phrase we just used to say, my man, but we didn't mean it like that. You know, pause though. In any event, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night. God bless. I will talk to everybody later.